Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending now. Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
And welcome to Alternate Ending, where we're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm your host, Robert Jarasinski. Across from me is my wife, Carrie Jarasinski. This episode, we're talking about our top 5 movies about racial unity. Coming off the Golden Globes as well, too. A lot of things have happened. Did you feel united in watching? I actually think the Golden Globes that aired, was it last weekend?
Yeah, it was last weekend.
It was the first Golden Globes I've ever watched.
I think it was for me too.
Yeah. So I'm mostly just an Oscars person, and even those I don't watch every single one, but I actually enjoyed watching it and doing something I've never done before too, which is live tweet.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what I was supposed to do. We're joining live on Facebook Live as we record this podcast. A lot of exciting things happening for Alternate Ending. But yeah, we watched Golden Globe, saw the fanfare. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a little less formal, it seemed.
Yeah, less formal.
It seemed people were more casual. People were sitting at dinner tables rather than the auditorium.
It still was a very long show, but I feel it stuck to the time that it meant to. I'm always up.
It's like 3 hours or something.
Yeah, super late for Oscars usually, though. So
yeah, I thought it was good.
The other thing, I know that since the last episode, we went and celebrated your grandmother's 90th birthday. So
we did. Oh, thanks for mentioning that.
Happy 90th, Grandma Kathy.
I know. If she's listening, you're the best.
Yeah, a lot of people showed up for that.
A lot.
Yeah.
Those kinds of moments always put things into perspective for me, because I was thinking, when I'm 90, I don't think I'm going to have that many people there.
Oh, people will show up.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it'll just be you. And maybe a few others. Yeah, I know, actually. Yeah, I'm making sad. And I mean, there'll be other people, but there were so many people there. There's so many people that love her. She's just.
Well, and it was
awesome.
fun to get to know the people that know her so well,
I know.
who I haven't met. Yeah, people that you filled out a whole banquet hall for 90th birthday. So yeah, happy birthday, Grandma Kathy.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Other exciting stuff is our website. As our audience listens to this on Monday, January 16th, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, our website is live. Our website is live. Thank you to Adam Gibson here in Madison, Wisconsin at GibsonWebDevelopment.com. Again, it's GibsonWebDevelopment.com for building it's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's pretty nice.
I kid you not, folks. This is going to be the best, not only just movie review podcast website, it's probably the best podcast website I've ever seen.
It's pretty humble of you there.
No,
it's the best thing ever.
It really is. I know we went to him with so many business requirements of things that we wanted, and we're just kind of waiting for him to blink or to be fazed by.
Yeah, he didn't blink.
He was like, "No, this is fine.
Maybe he just doesn't blink, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be a thing.
And I feel weird. What if that's a thing?
It could be.
Yeah, he just
kept acknowledging what you were saying, which I thought was ridiculous. And
we
had
been quoted, from other people, too. And
they're like $25,000. I was like, well, let me get back to you.
So,
let me go check.
Yeah, it's amazing what he's done. He's made it user friendly, which I know you need. So that's very, very,
nice.
very.
I'm not going to go to this website, so I don't need that.
No, alternateending.com. Really excited about the launch. So if you're listening now, just take a second, go check it out on Monday. As you're listening to this or after. Also, kind of some big things. Our video went live, our little commercial spot, which I know you and Tim both were a little reluctant about doing it. And now having heard and seen my vision, what do you
I already said something nice about you on Facebook. I don't know why you have to.
Oh, that's true. You did say.
I'm not really into affirmation, so I don't know why you're going to make me say something nice again.
But want to thank another person, Chris Farley, for making an idea reality. His company, Idea Storm Creations, does a lot of video production and stuff, and took a concept that we came up with, a script that we came up with, and just nailed it.
It was you. It was just you.
It was, yeah. You guys looked at it, and you guys said, that looks good. And you did some voices. You did some voices.
I did. I am featured on there.
I still think my voices of you guys is better than your actual voices. But
you doing me as Minnie Mouse?
Yes.
That's nice.
And doing the movie trailer guy. That's a skill. That is a skill.
Yeah. People, if you haven't heard it, it's pretty funny. You should go out there and listen. There's actually, it's not Rob with the very deep voice. It's a movie voice
I don't think
guy.
There's, in a lot of things, you might confuse me for it. This is, the movie trailer voice guy is not something, I could not pull that off. That was phenomenal.
It's a different
what this
octave,
guy did.
That's for sure.
So should we get into our Worth Mentioning segment?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, what is the Worth Mentioning segment? Of the movies we've seen since the last episode, which are the ones we want to talk about most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them worst to first. Carrie, how many movies have you seen in the last, was it 2 weeks?
2 weeks, I saw roughly 5 movies.
Okay.
Technically 5, almost 7, but I fell asleep in 2.
Okay, we won't call you out.
I'm just going to call the 5.
I appreciate you know what? By you coming forward with it, it really takes the wind out of my sails later, so I probably won't pick on you
That's
for
great.
it. Because it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, I know.
You've
That's
called
what I'm going to try and do.
I have 8 written here, but then I saw, I think, 2 more. So I think in 2 weeks I saw 10 movies, which I'm very proud of. It's award season. Ladies and gentlemen, we just talked about Golden.
Lots to see.
Yeah, lots to see, lots to cram in before the Oscars, and we're doing a fine job. We have our Oscar episode coming up a little bit, a week or so in advance of Oscars. So yeah, we have a lot of movies we want to see so that we can make an informed opinion about the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, what to go to see.
So 10 movies for me, 5 for you, roughly. Any overlap for worth mentioning?
Yeah, probably 1.
I'm saying 2.
2, probably 2.
I'm saying 2. All right, what do you have?
So the first one I'm going to chat about is a movie that was teed up as my most anticipated for the year when we first started this like a year ago. Excuse me.
It was your most anticipated?
It was in my most anticipated.
Oh, it was in it. Yeah. Most anticipated.
So that's the 2016 BFG.
Okay.
So I feel compelled to talk about it because it was in my most anticipated movies of the year.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you just went a podcast or an episode without talking about and having seen it. So yeah, no, that's
right.
The right thing.
So I'm going to do that. I'll tell you a little bit about it first. So it's directed by Denis Villeneuve.
No, that is not correct.
Sorry.
Spoiler for your next pick. I would love to see Denis Villeneuve direct the BFG. Boy, it would be so much different.
It would be like there were aliens in it or something. So anyway, no.
It'd be a little bit more faster paced. I might have stayed awake.
Also, the BFG was also directed by Steven Spielberg and written by Melissa Matheson. It stars Mark Rylance, Ruby Barhill, and Jermaine Clement. I don't know if you know that the big, scary giant was Jermaine Clement. Did you catch that?
Oh, no. He does a lot of voice work. No, I did not pick up on his voice being Jermaine Clement. I think he's
Scottish. What is he, Scottish?
No, he's New Zealand. He's a New Zealander.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense.
Is Kiwi a bad term?
Probably, so don't say it.
Okay. I'm not going to say it.
Especially in this particular episode.
I'm not going to say it. You said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it. So anyway, it's the story. I really, really, really wanted to love this movie, and I really wanted to see it. I read the book as a child when I was in elementary school, and it was one of those books that transforms you to another world.
Written by Ra's al Ghul?
Written by, I think it was Roald Dahl.
No, I always mispronounce his name.
Yeah, so not that person.
It's a Batman
also
reference.
Not Denis Villeneuve. So it's a girl named Sophie encounters, she lives in an orphanage. She encounters the BFG, which is the big friendly giant, in the night, and he sweeps her away to his home. And it's the adventures that they go on as a friendship and the friendship that they build. So he's the friendly giant. The community that he lives in of other giants are not so friendly, and they eat children. I know it sounds weird, but it's not weird when you're actually reading the book. And the friendly giant does not eat them. The book is just awesome, and this movie didn't live up to it. I think it felt to me like
Isn't that shocking? Because it's Steven Spielberg?
I know. I still don't really understand. It never hooked me.
The first 10 minutes had me because I was like, oh, this is a Steven Spielberg movie.
It's visually
the
cool.
Colors.
Yeah.
It took me back to the reasons why I like Stranger Things, the TV show. And I know I'm supposed to talk about TV shows, but it has that 80s Steven Spielberg E.T. vibe to it.
I didn't get that.
At the beginning.
I don't
with
agree
all the
with
walking
that.
in the shadows and hiding and things.
Nah.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't get that. But it just had a good vibe. The preview was awesome. And then again, going back to the book is awesome too and everything that it's about. This just felt like a conglomeration of pieces of the book that they tried to fit together to tell a story, but it never really felt like there was this common thread that carried the story through that made you like the characters and grow attached to the characters like you do in the book. So to me, this just kind of felt like I would look away and come back and I didn't know what was going on. And I don't know. It didn't appeal to me.
What percentage of, kind of people in your age range, plus or minus a few years,
Like
would you
20
say
to
have
25?
seen, 20, 25,
Yeah.
have read this book? Because I haven't read
Everybody.
it. Everybody that
reads.
read. So
Except you.
not me.
Right.
Yeah, my parents didn't read to me.
No. Everybody read this in elementary school. For
So yeah.
Sure.
So I'm sure a lot of people are probably tempted to go see it. And
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it to people, and I especially wouldn't recommend having seen it in theaters. I wouldn't have recommended that. I wouldn't have recommended.
Oh gosh, I would have been so disappointed.
I would have been
in
mad.
theaters. Yeah.
Would I say, hey, it's free? Maybe,
Nah,
but even then, I don't think so. I really think
and
it's
I realized
a miss.
I don't have an attachment to the story. And perhaps that would have given it an extra half a star for me or something. But
Yeah.
I think I gave it 2.5 stars.
Yeah, it wasn't great. So I would pass, unfortunately, on this one.
Very nice.
So,
well, my first one up to bat, and all three of mine are great. And
good to know.
And I want to say they're in a particular order. I know we're supposed to do these worst to first, but
Right.
these are my three. I probably should have just done alphabetical just to make it equitable, but all three of these could be number one for me. And I say this, these may likely be up for Oscars, all three of these potentially. Who knows? First one I have up to bat is Gleason. 2016's Gleason, hour 50 minutes. IMDb gives it an 8.4. Rotten Tomatoes 96%. Is
I'm glad
Gleason
that you're
on
talking
your list?
about it. It's my first one.
It's your number
It's
one?
my number one.
Yeah.
And frankly, I'm glad you're talking about it because I actually have some tissue stuffed in my pocket in case this goes poorly. I had trouble actually physically writing the review down on on my computer.
For you in particular,
Struggled
I mean,
a
we
bit on this one,
both
yeah.
were tearful during the movie. It's not too uncommon anyway, but for you were upset days following,
Yeah,
where
it was
you came
really
out of
bad.
the bathroom getting ready
I
for the day, and you were
know.
like, "I'm still so sad."
Are
you sad right now?
I'm sad.
Oh,
Just keep talking about it.
okay. We're gonna. Well, yeah, that'll make it better. Let's just keep talking about this.
No, I'm just going to pretend.
So, for those who don't know, Steve Gleason, the movie, which the namesake of the movie is based on, was a former football player, not a very well-known football player, but known for one big play. He played special teams and for the New Orleans Saints and other teams, but really known for the New Orleans Saints. And after Hurricane Katrina, their first game back, playing in the Superdome, which had a lot of significance during Hurricane Katrina, he makes this outstanding hustle play, and he's kind of world renowned for it. Then from that, he gets a lot of notoriety from that play. Played in the NFL 8 years and decides to retire after 8 years. Shortly after retiring, he finds out he gets diagnosed with ALS. And it is really just his journey in dealing with ALS. And,
it's supposed to be a diary for his.
it's supposed to. Thank you. Yeah, because
for
I would
his
have.
child.
Yeah, this movie is really based on diary clips that he started having because maybe a week after he was diagnosed with ALS, he finds out his wife Michelle and him are expecting. And yeah, it's supposed to be little diary logs.
Just devastating.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For him dealing with it, but
Yeah.
also moving past it. I know you and I did the ice bucket challenge for ALS.
He didn't start.
He didn't start that?
No, but he was.
Okay.
I think a voice for it. I don't think he actually started it, but he started Team Gleason, which is a foundation that is awesome. So you should check out on Facebook.
He's
They have
probably
presence there.
the best human being.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And what's great about this documentary is I think those who struggle with illness or any type of challenge, from a third party's perspective, for what you get to see, and this is what I try to talk to you about too, is wow, how does he do it? How does he survive? And you're seeing him not deal well with it sometimes. And I think that is very humanizing for someone who, who is so perfect to have to deal with this and to kind of see what it's like behind the scenes, and that he has really low points as well too, and really low moments, but yet continue to, and that's just something that's going to happen. I mean,
and that's what they said that the intent was behind it, was that they wanted to show the journey of it, and they wanted to show the realness of it and the rawness. So there's some really real moments, bathroom scenes, bed scenes, showing like what it's like to get through an actual day, that make it really raw and difficult to watch at points, because you feel like you're a person standing in the room watching just a really, really challenging and difficult, situation for a person, and it feels like you're a fly on the wall, which it makes it hard to watch at points, I think.
Yeah, and his wife, kudos for her too. Is that this is a young couple who now expecting, and now she also has to take on additional, and it's the downstream impacts that his illness, and now notoriety for this illness as well too, because he was already pretty famous, in the New Orleans circle, but now even on a broader scale, having developed this illness. It's streaming on Amazon right now, guys.
100% worth seeing.
It's just, you got to go see it. It's tough to watch, but you will be hopefully sucked in as Carrie
something
and I
that you will carry with you too. Like you won't forget it, and it's something that's a good reminder, I think, for everybody. What was the other thing I was going to say about it? Oh, just that his foundation is online, that he has this Team Gleason set up, and so they're still raising money every day for people that can't afford the technology that he has to help, dealing with ALS a lot easier. So like the chair that he has, and the voice technology that he has to be able to communicate with people isn't cheap. And so he raises money and stuff like that for providing those to the people. So it's an awesome organization that's worth
this movie has a lot of
too.
layers too, because it also then deals with which many people in the limelight having to step away have to deal with. How much is fame and notoriety, and he struggles with a little bit of that too. Is he taking away from maybe his family and the video logs and doing diaries.
It's worth seeing. We can
it's worth
go
seeing.
Check it out.
All right, what's next for you?
So you took my number one.
I did.
So does that mean I go to my number two?
You'll probably take my number one. So hey.
Excellent. Was yours in 2016?
Yeah, they all are.
Directed by Dennis.
Are you sure?
Villeneuve.
Are you sure it's not Steven Spielberg? Okay.
Is the movie Arrival?
Yeah, it's
my number one.
But it's my number one. Like I said, all of these were. I don't want to give anything away from my top movies of all of the year. But I have one more too.
So we caught Arrival in theaters separately. That was a first for me.
Why was that? Why did we do it separately?
So we tried. Unsuccessfully to see it together a couple times, and
I tried 2 times
to see it together.
Went out, left,
physically left our house,
hired babysitters because we have this big board, this list of movies we want to see, and I had pegged. Carrie's like, of all of these, which one do you want to see most right now in theaters? I said Arrival, because I have the biggest hope
and
for
there
it.
we went.
And we went.
And
2
I
times.
delivered. I delivered, sort of.
Care, should we get tickets in advance, you think? Do you think it'll be too busy? No, it's fine.
It was like
just
a
show
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was not a rush hour movie time, but unfortunately, it was rush hour for Arrival. So we missed it and saw Rogue One.
We haven't talked about it.
What's that?
We haven't talked about this movie.
I know.
Yeah, I've been wanting to pick your brain on this movie.
So...
Without spoiling anything.
So let me tell you a little about it first.
I don't know if there's a way to do it.
It's in theaters, potentially. It's leaving theaters, I think, for some people. It is for us, or it was around here. But if you haven't caught it in theaters, it's directed by Dennis Villeneuve, written by Eric Eiserer. Is that right? No. Eiserer. It stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forrest Whitaker. 12 mysterious spacecraft pod things land at different points throughout the world. It's this, and they don't know why. So the FBI or the United States Intelligence, I don't know who
Homeland
these people
Security,
are. Homeland Security,
everybody, CIA,
everybody's involved. I mean,
yeah.
there's a spacecraft. I mean, you're gonna get everybody involved. Come to Amy Adams, who is played by, I think her name's Louise in the movie, Louise Banks. Come, and she's a well-known linguist and a college professor. So they come to her to help try and communicate with the aliens, and it's the story of how she tries to build communication with the aliens.
Well, the first step in any conflict is establishing lines of communication.
Yep.
So that's how this movie's brought it. And it, from that point where it jumps off, it had me hooked because, we think of conflict and you automatically think of other, just fighting or war or guns or, whatever, laser beams in movies. And this deals a lot with language, and how important language is and miscommunication is, and communication in general. I don't feel like I can talk too much more about it, and I want to.
That's all.
I hope.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. What did I like about it? It's a movie about aliens, which is great. And again, it deals with something I'm not too familiar with, which is linguistics and the importance of it.
That was cool.
I enjoyed learning about it, and it gave me pause to think about how important that is, and how easily we could be miscommunicating. And probably older civilizations.
There's a lot of societal statements there on how even our current interaction with other countries, how quickly you can make mistakes by misunderstanding people's intentions or the goal that a person has. So,
but and then it has
there's things in there that are
so much more where I feel like I can't think of a way to talk about it without giving anything away to the movie, which has some twists.
There's some twists.
It has some twists and turns.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Amy Adams' performance. Jeremy Renner did a great job. Forrest Whitaker, great as always too.
Yeah.
So great performances, great special effects. Did you think the special effects were nice?
No. So that was the thing. Special effects. So when I go to recommend whether or not to see this in theaters or how to spend your money on this, beyond the large scale ship, there wasn't really any effects. So I would say, I don't think this is necessary to see in theaters for me.
Okay. I mean, I see what you're saying. I would see it in theaters because it's such a great. I would
catch this for $5 Tuesdays.
Wow. You think Arrival's a $5 Tuesday type of movie?
Well, I mean, it's worth, but I just don't think it's necessary to see in a theater.
So I deem necessity because of how great of a movie it is. So I would pay a little bit more to see it sooner than.
You would. You're one of those.
I know if you're saying based like just on the visuals.
I'm the cash cow, so I'm like, I
would rush out to see this because I would want to see a great movie sooner.
And I'll see it later to save $10.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was good, but I don't know that it wasn't one of those that I thought, I needed to see this in a theater. What gets me excited
about Denis Villeneuve, who's also directing the reboot or remake potentially. I don't know if it's a sequel or what of Blade Runner. He has little touches, and tell me if you caught on to this.
Probably.
It's similar to Signs, where you don't see anything, and yet it builds tension. Do you remember the scene early on in the first part of the movie where they're all looking at the TV screen, or she shows up to class and the whole class is empty? She's like, "Where's everybody?" And everybody's like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And everybody else is watching TV, and then phones start like for the 12 people who are in class, their phones start going off. And hey, Miss Baker, would you mind turning on the television?
Yeah.
They turn it on. The camera isn't on. You never get to see what's on the screen. You're looking at just reactions. That is a really nice touch.
I didn't notice it, but
I kept being like, what's everybody looking at? Like, I want to see it. And
unfortunately, at that point in the movie, the guy next to me opened up a bag of Funyuns, fresh bag too. And
they sell Funyuns at theaters?
No, he brought them in. It was a carry-in. It was bold, and I was a bit distracted at that point early on in the movie by the Funyun smell, and I was tempted to ask him if he would give me one because if you eat one,
I'm a Funyuns fan.
The flavor goes away, like the smell supposedly goes away.
Sure.
So I wasn't bold enough to ask for a Funyun, but I almost did. But I was a little distracted.
Someone will have to ask us about the story of our friend Josh Elder who brought in a pot pie. I think Funyun's not as bold as pot pie, but up there.
Yeah, I don't know. Both of them are concerning in the theater.
A pot pie.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. So yeah, I liked it. I know you came home and said all that you really said to me about it was that your eyes were kind of puffy and you're like, it was so sad.
I cried. I counted five distinct times.
I think because you spoiled it for me a bit, because anytime somebody actually tells me that something is really sad and that I will cry, there's like a switch that flips inside me and I just can't.
We'll test that. We'll test that soon.
On what?
On my next one, because you just took my number one. Do you have another one left as well?
No, that's it.
Okay. My last one is one where I'd love to test that with you.
Okay.
It's 2016's as well. Again, I'm cramming for award season here. Manchester by the Sea. You will cry.
No, I don't think so.
You will cry.
I I don't know.
No, you will cry.
All right.
2 hours, 17 minutes, a bit long. 8.1 on IMDb, and I believe 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. So pretty.
I've heard about it. I've heard about
You've heard
it.
good things.
Yeah.
Well, Casey Affleck picked up a Golden Globe for best actor in a dramatic performance, and
His speech was kind of weak when he got up there.
well, he's a
don't know.
shy, introverted kind of a guy, and to be honest, that's kind of the character that he plays in this movie. Which I don't know if. I'm not saying he's not deserving of accolades and things. Great performance, but having heard and seen some of the other performances, I don't know how much of this is a stretch for him. Synopsis on this one: starring Casey Affleck, Michelle Williams, Kyle Chandler, and Ben O'Brien. An uncle is tasked to take care of his teenage nephew after the boy's father dies. And great direction by Kenneth Lonergan. Mostly, I think, known for stage plays and writing. And Matt Damon was originally set to star and direct in this, dropped out.
Why did he
which
drop
is
out?
why in the speech, I think, probably go do Great Wall or whatever the movie.
I
where
heard that
he's,
was terrible.
it's not out yet.
Oh.
I'm sure it's
I
going
heard
to
it's
be terrible.
going to be
I'm sure it's
terrible.
going to be
I think I saw the preview. It
And
looked
even in
bad.
the Golden Globes acceptance speech, Casey said, "Matt, I doubt you're going to be, passing any more of these off to me."
I
going
didn't
forward."
catch that. I didn't catch
because that was a little nod to saying like this could have been you up here,
This
buddy.
could have been you instead.
I can't.
Persian.
Could Matt could have done it, but it's definitely more of a mood of a Casey Affleck, which is what you saw live with the Golden Globes as well too. There is something up with his character right out of the gate. You don't know what it is, and then as the movie progresses, it's revealed. More and more information is revealed through vignettes of the past, and it is just really well. It's a really well crafted movie. And I feel like you learn a little bit about yourself through this. Certainly learn about the character, but yeah, he's a very odd character, and you don't understand it. He's just very quiet and introverted, and it's like he's running away from something. You kind of get that feeling right away, and then you're left. You want to know why.
So do you have to piece it together? Is there?
There's no piecing. It's just revealed. Everything is revealed.
Oh, I thought you said there's little vignettes of.
Right, vignettes.
But so the vignettes don't piece together to what happened or something? It doesn't tell a story?
It just tells us the vignettes build.
Oh, okay.
But piecing makes it seem like you have to work really hard.
Oh, okay.
There's no mystery.
Okay.
I mean, you can probably start guessing at things, but it's not like it's trying to. It's just the movie's moving forward, but then in reverse, it's showing you the past in reverse order as well too, in parts and pieces. I'm making this sound much more complex than it really is. He's got to go take care of his nephew, and you start learning more about
why
he ran, you just start understand, like you just notice like uncomfortableness of why he's coming back to the city, why that's not comfortable for him, and then it's like, oh, okay, I get that, or
Sure.
there's something more to this. Oh wait. But that doesn't, like, you start asking yourself, and it's slowly revealed. It's a really good movie.
Cool.
It's a very
Worth
good movie.
seeing in theaters?
So, not based on by your standard, it had no explosions and no visual effects, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, this is a great movie, so I suggest if it's a great movie, you see it as soon as you can.
All right.
So I'm glad I saw it as soon as I possibly could. So.
Okay. And I'll let you know. I'll check back to let you know if I cry.
Strange, none of us talked about Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I think that was worth seeing in theaters and worth watching. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I saw Hidden Figures and Selma. I think both of those are worth watching. I gave Snowden, which we saw with the Mullins, kind of a meh, kind of disappointing. Speaking of movies on our top anticipated, I made both of our lists.
It did. Bit of a snoozer for me.
A bit of a voice thing with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Doing another voice, man.
He was doing Snowden.
I was doing a Snowden voice. I don't know.
You made it sound worse than it was. It was
his voice. His voice was like this.
It was.
And it's so out of place.
that
It's very
bad.
distracting.
Well, I didn't think it was.
Yeah, it was
that
very distracting.
Well, whatever.
I unfortunately saw the BFG with you as well too. Skip that. Tomorrowland skip, and The Infiltrator I say skip.
I was going to see Tomorrowland too. It's a skipper.
Very disappointing.
All right,
I
good.
mean, 2.5 stars. It's one of those where if you caught it online with 3, like you should watch it. This one I can't safely say 3.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a waste of time.
All right.
It's Brad Bird too. It's like, gosh, what are you doing, buddy? You can't do live action? What's going on?
All right.
Remember, you can find more details about all the movies we've watched on our new website, alternatending.com. That's alternatending.com. Before we head to our break, I want to thank all our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing it is easy. Just go to our website, alternatending.com, click on the Amazon banner, and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since our last episode, here are the things that were purchased. A lot of video game stuff, some Nintendo stuff. Have you heard about this new Nintendo that's coming out, the Nintendo Switch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely have. I really want that.
I don't know if it's kind of getting stuff ready. We had a bunch of video game paraphernalia purchased. A toolkit for Nintendo products, little screwdrivers. Let's see what else. Left-right shoulder button with flex cable for 3DS.
What is that? Is that another video game thing?
Some repair stuff. So something must have broken down with a Nintendo. We also had some more protein powder purchased. Coconut flavor this time.
Interesting.
Coconut almond.
That sounds good.
I'd give it a try.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, a big thanks for someone who purchased noise canceling headphones, Bose, the good stuff.
Is that you? Did you
No,
purchase those?
Would you let me? I would love to purchase Bose.
On our credit card statement.
With as much as I travel, I could really use a set of noise canceling headphones.
Should treat yourself, Rob. Should treat yourself more.
Thank you guys so much. We get asked a lot about other ways to support the show. When you find a movie from one of our reviews or podcasts at alternately.com, you'll be able to now rent it directly from our site or purchase it directly from our site. We also just launched a Patreon site for our super fans where you can get access to perks like getting to pick the movies we talk about on our show, having Tim write a movie review of choice of your movie, or letting us take you out to dinner and a movie.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've kind of...
What are these things?
I've kind of put you out there. You're on a website. You're in a scandalous dress, and I'm offering you up to take you to a movie. It's a little bit of like indecent proposal. What's happening?
I don't even know what to tell you right now. I'm gonna go to this website now. I wasn't gonna go before. Now I'm gonna go see what you've done.
Be sure to check out all of those things and get the word out, folks. When we get back, top 5 movies about racial unity. Welcome back to Alternating, where we're talking about our top 5 movies about racial unity. Kara, what was your criteria for a movie about racial unity? And I ask this because I feel like the two best people to talk about race are two white people.
Right.
I think that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I feel like we're well informed probably on the topic.
I come from Poland, which is 99.9% homogenous, the most homogenous country in the world. So yeah,
not only even homogenous,
I am super qualified.
Everybody
to talk
looks
about
the same there. Have you ever
unity.
noticed that? Every Polish person I've ever seen looks the same.
I feel like that's racist to say that.
Is that racist?
Yeah, that's a racist thing to say.
No, but I mean, it doesn't. You look nice.
Oh, we all just look really nice.
You look really nice with the blue eyeshadow. No,
blue eyeshadow.
And there's a lot of blue eyeshadow in Poland. Have you ever noticed that?
No.
No. Oh, okay. It was just me. So anyway.
No, in all seriousness, we're airing on Monday, Martin Luther King Day. We saw this date kind of coming, and we wanted to talk about this topic. And yeah, it's a little bit disingenuous to have two white folk talking about this and kind of deciding what our top 5 movies about racial unity are. But there's certainly been movies over the years for me that have made a really big impact and made me question something about myself or think a little deeper about something. So, I think that's a lot about what the day Martin Luther King Jr. Day is about, is to kind of to stop and to think and to pause on those types of things. So what was your criteria for this?
So my criteria shifted a bit when I realized that I had the wrong topic.
How'd you have the wrong topic?
I don't know. I missed the memo.
Did you do like races, like running races and car races?
You just made me. I just remembered a movie I forgot.
Was it about cars?
No. Oh man. Anyway, I'll tell you later. So I thought it was top 5 movies about equality. In my mind, when I started putting together the list. So I had a bunch of things about equality in here, and then like 10 minutes ago, I realized it was a different topic, so that changes it.
So yeah, go on that. What made
I had
different
milk
about that? Oh, sure. Yeah, we wanted to focus more on racial unity.
So I had to do a quick pivot here, just so you know.
Yeah.
And I think I'll still come out on top. I think.
Okay. So what were your parameters then for your new parameters?
My new parameters. Okay, let me back it up.
So you're not doing equality, you're doing
racial unity, which was the topic that you actually told me. Yeah. I get that.
There's a poster on Facebook about it with the words.
I went to your poster, and that's what told me I was wrong. So Then I went back and reevaluated, and I said,
It's not like we planned this. This is you. People are getting the authentic you on this show. This isn't like you just. I feel like it happens every episode, but
I'm actually very buttoned up in real life. I put this facade together for the show. So about racial unity, to me, this had to have an element of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just don't
Should I just
know.
do mine?
Yeah. Can you? Great.
So what I wanted this to be and what I didn't want this to be, in my head I had this very clear, and we talked about it the last episode. I couldn't articulate it in a title. I feel I got close. I wanted a movie that at the end of the day you understand at least two perspectives of two different race
like
groups.
That.
Okay, I wanted there to be a feeling of anger.
Yep.
Frustration and feeling of empathy for the one or the other camps of groups.
Sure.
Wherever you fall, you felt you could empathize with it, or just feel angry, and then ultimately hope. Like because I feel like, again, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, like I want it to end with hope, because there's plenty of movies that are just tragic and just sad about,
I'll
say Birth of a Nation, for example.
Nation, yeah, that's not on my list.
Not an upbeat movie.
No.
And I realized that the struggles and things, and I'm looking for courage.
Sure.
In this.
Yeah, me too.
But from possibly two sides of the coin here.
Yeah.
Because I think what I've found that's common throughout all of my movie picks is someone needed, the people who are on the kind of the receiving end of the racism need to have courage, because boy, it's an uphill battle, and you're wondering why you're continuing to fight for this thing to just even move an inch.
Yeah.
To just get a little bit
just a
of the
teeny
quality.
bit. Yeah.
But then it also takes courage from at least one character on the other side. And those are the types of movies that I really wanted to focus in on.
That's me too.
Is it you?
That's exactly what I did. You put it right, took the words right out of my mouth right there. So I appreciate that.
So with you switching topics, do you feel like we will overlap at all?
Yeah. Probably at least 4. 3 to 4 will be the same.
I'm saying 3 because I don't think you've seen two of my 5. All right, go
I've
for it.
I've seen a lot of movies about equality and
so this was hard when I had a long list of movies that had racism in it. Okay, and this is just not just black, but Asian American and all different types of different races, Hispanic, the whole gamut of races, and white, and then kind of even within Africa, even having kind of races
Any
within
Polish?
Those. Certainly different religions that could have been a thing, but we were focusing on race, and that was key. So, but when I started narrowing it down, I didn't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
So it kind of just ended up with my 5.
All right, good.
So
maybe they're the same.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen 2 of these.
All right. Well, we will find out, Rob.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited.
For my number 5.
Number 5
is the 1962 movie.
No.
Come on.
And I don't believe that you've seen this.
I have seen this.
Okay.
And I've read the book.
Okay.
I've done both.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Sorry, I was thinking of a different movie.
Oh. Okay. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it, read it.
Is it on your
one
list?
that I've read. It is not on my list.
Oh, this is the pinnacle of awesome. Great. One of my favorite books of all time. It's definitely my mom's favorite book of all time. I've read it multiple times, which I can't say that about very many books. It's directed by Robert Mulligan, written by Harper Lee. It stars Gregory Peck, Brock Peters, Robert Duvall, Mary Bottom as she plays Scout. It's set in a small town in Alabama in 1932. Atticus Finch plays a lawyer, is a lawyer, and a widower, and has 2 kids, Jem and Scout. Atticus Finch is a lawyer who's defending a gentleman, Tom Robinson, a man accused of assaulting a white woman during that time, which carried obviously a heavy penalty at that time. And it's a story about standing up against the norms of the time and standing up for what was right. And he goes out to defend him. And I think it dealt a lot with standing up against the norms and changing attitudes and thoughts of that time and around that time. So loved the book. the only reason that I have it actually at number 5 is that I saw the movie so many years ago now that the movie is a little bit fuzzy in my mind. I saw it in high school. So it's not that I can call back to that, the movie was so compelling and gripping, which I know it was, but it wasn't one of those movies that I don't know, that I feel like is still so crisp and clear but I can't tell where I draw the line in that it's crisp and clear because of the book and between that and the movie, but I just know how much I think it impacted and dealt, I think, with that and how it ties back to the topic for today.
Yeah. I don't...
Bit of a mess.
I had other trial movies.
Yeah.
That very similar... Not similar, sorry, it's not similar, but I had other trial movies where, white lawyer takes case for, minority person to fight. And it's just those, I just threw all of those out.
Sure. But To Kill a Mockingbird is one of them not to be thrown.
Okay.
I believe. We'll see how people.
And there was some audience members who I believe agreed. Like I think Becca Stewart and others may have commented.
And she's
similar.
a smart one.
She is pretty smart.
I know.
Number 5 for me is a movie we saw this year together with some friends. I have 2016's Race.
That's when you said race, about the race car. I forgot about race.
So that is a play on words that they chose for the title.
I meant to put race. Yeah. I did. That was a miss on my end.
So if you remember, I didn't even think it was that great of a movie. It's middle of the road for me, like 3. But it really hits on all of those parameters that I really wanted to. Good
movie.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, 2016's Race, 2 hours, 14 minutes, IMDb gives it 7.1, Rotten Tomatoes 61%. Directed by Stephen Hopkins, and the direction was not great. And he hasn't directed a whole lot, mostly TV, but he did direct Judgment Night, which I really do love that movie from 1993. Anyway, starring Stephen James, Jason Sudeikis, story of Jesse Owens, and his historic 1936 kind of Olympic run.
Yeah.
Run literally and figuratively as well too, because he achieved so many gold medals.
Yeah.
He was probably the best track and field athlete of all time, and did it on such a stage of, again, everything really working about race in this movie.
Yeah.
And not only just all minorities in general too. And you mentioned Polish and everything too. Poland was made up. Mostly, not mostly, but had a large percentage of a Jewish population, and that comes up in the movie as well too, as two young American Jews wanted to participate as well. They were a part of the team, and Hitler didn't want any minorities participating in the Olympics as well too. So, But
to your point about there needing to be hope, there was a character tie in there where different races were coming together and finding a mutual common ground, which I think was the hope.
And that's
aspect.
what I'm always looking for is what I, with all my movies, and this is a trope. This is now a movie trope where you are forced to work together reluctantly, and then it's like, oh, you learn something about the other person. Oh, we're not so different.
Right.
And boy, couldn't we all just use that regularly? A regular reminder.
So define a trope for me.
A trope is just a common theme. It's a theme.
So, quick just thought on that, though, is the guy that I liked so much that was, I think, a German runner, maybe. Yeah. He never had any animosity towards him. What's different in some of these movies is you have two
I'm glad you bring that particular situation up. Yeah. Yeah.
So they had a good relationship from start to finish versus this. There's some animosity and they decide to
they have competitive animosity. But, and I'm sure slight, but then, and this is what happens in these types of movies as a trope, is by proving yourself as being able to compete, the whole we're different color skin or different whatever.
It just went out the window.
It just goes out the window because you respect the person for what they're doing. And that's what happened with that German long jumper or whatever it was, who, by the way, after Jesse Owens went and shook his hand, after the German long jumper said, "You're amazing. Like, no, go again. Let's see you break the record again or whatever." Hitler sent him on the front lines during World War II, and he died.
What?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell me these things. Yeah. I don't know. Are you sure?
Oh, positive. Yeah.
How do you know that?
I did the research.
Rob.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And that's why I said it takes. I mean, you got to believe you knew what you were doing when you were kind of upsetting the hierarchy there, and that's what I'm saying. It takes courage on both sides.
I wish I didn't know that.
And that's it's kind of what I see there. So yeah, that was my number 5. Sounds like it would have made your list had you thought about
that was good. Yeah, I don't know though. I still have some other really good ones
Okay.
in the lineup.
What do you have next? I think this might overlap.
The next movie that I have is the 2008 movie Gran Torino. You have it?
No, I don't have it. It's on my honorable mentions.
Directed by Clint Eastwood, written by Nick Schenk, stars Clint Eastwood, Bee Vang, Christopher Carley, and Ani Her. Clint Eastwood plays this curmudgeon-y, disgruntled Korean War veteran, lives on his own, doesn't really leave the house very much, has a lot of guns that he just keeps to like protect himself, and he's just kind of locked himself up after years and years of being alone. So one of the neighbor kids that lives by him, who happens to be Hmong, comes and I think tries to steal his car or something early on in the movie. And it's the story that evolves of the relationship between him and the neighbor, and as he tries to kind of teach him a code or an ethics and morals. And Clint Eastwood starts off being quite racist, and it's the relationship that evolves as he gets a better understanding of other people and the story that comes from that. And it was just, I liked it, and I think it was a great movie, and I think it dealt with a lot of things where they still exist today, in a very real sense, I think, here. And there's a lot of people out there that or there's more Clint Eastwoods out there than you probably imagine. And so I think to see him evolve was a great
So another
movie.
one for me, I think it's a great movie. Another one for me where it focused more about an individual just changing. Like I had other movies like that again for me. Without being able to articulate why I didn't include it, that was something there are movies like that which I chose not to include. I think it's a good movie, but there was I had a little bit more finer kind of set of parameters for this, which was what I was trying to get out of this list for myself. So not to say that it applies to you, but
yeah, this is my own set of excellent movies. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is 2011's on your list. 2011.
Yeah,
The Help.
it's my number deuce.
All right. 2 hour, 26 minutes. It's long. I forgot how long it is. IMDb gives it an 8.1. Rotten Tomatoes, 75%. Number 249 on IMDb's 250 list. So just eking in there. Eking in there. Directed by Tate Taylor, who also did The Girl on the Train, which we haven't seen. Starring Emma Stone, Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, Jessica Chastain, Bryce Dallas Howard. Just a great cast. Big cast.
Yeah.
An aspiring author during the civil rights movement of the 1960s decides to write a book detailing the African-American maid's point of view on the white families for which they work and the hardships they go through on a daily basis. And Octavia Spencer won for Best Supporting Actress, an Oscar for that. Audience members Danuta Woolley as well as Laura Hose also had this as their picks for it. It's a great movie. Again,
excellent book too, by the way.
Yeah, and I hadn't read the book. You and I saw the movie together, and it had some really funny moments as well too, touching moments, but ultimately uplifting and
unifying,
understanding different perspectives. You had that character who was, again, the trope that I was going for was courage on both sides to stand up for something.
Yep. And ultimately, this is my mean girl side coming out. Ultimately, I want the person who is the racist person. I want them to pay a little bit. And I know that's not kind, but I do. Like, I want there to be some sort of outcome for that person.
Like a poop pie.
Yeah. I want you to eat poop. I want you to eat poop if you're a jerk. And so when you eat poop, you end up number 2 on my list.
Which is very fitting.
Yeah.
Was that your joke? Was that the joke you were going for? Or did that just occur?
What joke?
You eat poop. That's why you're number 2.
I didn't even catch that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I hope Candy Phelps is listening.
That was the best.
Missing the pun master here.
Oh, I'm a bit off.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
And I did miss that, but thank you.
So yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. It's just a really good movie and
really quality movie. Yeah.
And also deals a lot with women too.
Yeah.
Which I also kind of a minority class in its own in their own regard in a lot of ways still in America today. So excellent.
If you haven't seen it, see it. If you haven't read the book, also recommend reading the book because the book, I don't know. Actually, I'd say the movie stands up pretty well to the book.
It's great actresses performing great roles.
Totally. And they casted it really well.
Yeah.
The characters were what I pictured for the characters in the book. So it was good.
All right. What's next for you? Number 3, right?
Number 3.
That's where I feel you're going to start stealing some of mine.
I don't think so on this one. This is a little gem that I think you might have forgotten about. It's from 2000. Have you forgotten anything from 2000?
No.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it's my I have a 2000 on number 3.
From Remember the Titans?
It's my number 3.
That's my
Look
number
at
3.
Us. Can you reach for it?
No, I can't. I have very
Finger?
short appendages. So Remember the Titans 2000. I know you joke about this, but I do also have this on VHS. This is the one that I have on VHS. I confused
not
it with
Blindside.
Not Blindside. Several episodes
Man,
ago,
it feels good to finally.
we had a bit of an exchange about me having the Blindside on VHS. I concede.
That's just not making any sense.
It didn't make any sense, and I understand why now because I was thinking about Remember the Titans.
Got it.
I do have this on VHS. Though.
Okay.
We can watch it together on VHS.
Now we just need a VHS player and we're set.
I have one. Don't worry. So it's directed by Bose Yakin, written by Gregory Allen Howard, stars Denzel Washington, Will Patton, Wood Harris, Donald Faison, Kip Pardue plays Sunshine. I don't know if he's been in anything else, but Sunshine was one of the key characters for me. I just really like Sunshine.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about him. I just liked his attitude. It's very...
No, he's Californian, right?
Yeah,
He was
had
like
some
Mr.
hair.
California.
Had some long hair, and he had it going on. So, it also Hayden Panettiere. How do you pronounce her name?
Panettiere, yeah. So a
and
lot
Ryan-
of great young actors at the time. I hadn't quite,
Ryan Gosling was in it
which
too.
helped because I don't think this was meant to be a great movie. But
No.
then I think when you get stellar performances from a supporting cast unexpectedly, and
Yeah.
many of these people, Kate Bosworth, Ryan Gosling, turned out to be now formidable.
Much big, yeah. Because this is what
You got
16
really
years
lucky.
ago.
Yeah. They got really lucky with this cast. I think.
So it's a true story of a newly appointed African American coach played by Denzel Washington who comes on to what?
Denzel.
Always rocking it, man.
Yeah,
Always rocking it. What did we just see him in?
I didn't see him in
And
anything. But
I
he's
just saw him in
gonna be
something like a
Fences.
minute ago,
Yeah.
and he was awesome. Oh, it was just a preview.
It was a preview for Fences. That's all you need to see is the preview. It's like
I felt like I saw the whole movie.
here's
from
some
seeing
here's some
Fences.
Academy Awards, buddy.
Yeah, he.
Which
was
is again,
intense in
Casey
that.
Affleck. I don't. Okay.
So anyway. African American coach in high school comes in to coach a high school team for their first season as a racially integrated unit or team unit, and it's the obvious conflict that comes from that at that time of joining those teams together, and again having the coach is African American too, and so it's the dynamic of that. The assistant coach, so there's layered conflict because there's a coach. There's a conflict between
a minority in the South is put in power,
in the highest power,
yeah.
And then so there's the whatever he is, some piddly dude, athletic coordinator or side that he conflicts with, or defensive coordinator or something like that, some peon guy who he conflicts with, and then the team conflict that comes from that too. I can still just picture the scene, the left side, strong side thing where they're coming together, and it's like this tense moment, and then exactly like you described earlier, it's this tense moment of clear division and clear separation between these two sides, and then there's always that click moment that I think they did really well in that movie of where the unification comes and where there's this perspective added and where people start to come together, and
you realize
it's so stupid.
You realize
you're so
all we're
dumb.
doing is, and I know, we know it's
ridiculous.
just based on
nothing.
Seriously, just color
it's
of
based
skin.
on nothing,
and we have so much more in common than we don't.
But I love those aha moments for people.
We all have annoying parents and blah blah blah. Like we could find common ground. No, I'm talking about the people in the movie. Like they have parents who ride you hard and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just
it was a great movie, heartwarming. Fill your bucket, watch it over and over again kind of movie. So if you ever missed it 16 years ago, or if you're too young to have seen it under the age of
good flick.
16,
Audience member Carolyn Zelinsky voted for this one.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Did she? Yeah, I agree.
So I took your number 2, so
Yep.
I gotta go, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll both be left with number 1. Am I doing my math right?
And I'm sure, going to take mine.
No, I'm not, because you haven't seen this. I just saw this.
Oh, then you missed something.
No, I have my number 1 still.
Okay, maybe that'll
So this
be
is
the
my
same.
number 2. Just saw this.
Okay.
And I'm sure recency has a lot to do with it, but it fit exactly what I was going for. I kind of guessed
right.
that it might. It's Hidden Figures from 2016. 2 hours 7 minutes. IMDb gives it
Really
a 7.9.
wanted to see this
Rotten
with you.
Tomatoes 93%.
I wanted to see it.
You should still have time. Go see
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Go see it.
I will.
Directed by Theodore Melfi, who did St. Vincent, if you remember, with Bill
I do.
Murray.
I do.
Okay. Starring Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, Janelle Monáe, I'm probably messing up her name, Kevin Costner, and then I always get this guy's name wrong, Mahershala Ali, Jim Parsons, and Kirsten.
Oh, no, Jim Parsons. You got that right.
Good throwback joke. It's not quite the same as The
No,
Rock.
it was
Not
so
as funny
when you
but
did
I
it.
appreciate that you try to steal my jokes.
Yeah, I know.
Kirsten Dunst. So, based on a true story, a team of African-American women provide NASA with important mathematical data needed to launch the program's first successful space mission. Yeah, this had everything that I was looking for in this particular episode.
Yeah.
In a top 5. So,
Were there any jerk people that you get mad about?
Of course. This
Okay.
is 1960s, 1963, whatever.
Yeah.
South, NASA based out of Langley, Virginia, very southern, it's a southern state.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of still built-in racism and assumptions. I mean, you had segregation in the bathrooms. You had segregation for everything, drinking fountains. And it deals with these 3 ladies' stories, each brilliant in their own right, on different levels. But yeah, NASA just needing the best of the best, and they had groups of minorities. What was interesting about this movie too is I didn't realize computers. I should have looked this up beforehand. They refer to humans as computers. So you were a computer if you could tabulate, if you could do numbers really well. So you were called a computer, and they had pools of computers. So of these women who were really good with numbers and could compute, but they had them on different sides of the campus. So you had the white pool of women computers, and you had the African American colored as they call it in the movies. In this movie and in history. So yeah, they would get assignments and everything like that and come to help, but they were in desperate need of a really strong mathematician. And it's the central story, but there are two additional stories that kind of happen as well too. But for this main kind of plotting trajectories and things for the first launch, Russia is basically kicking the U.S.'s butt at getting into space. They've launched the first rocket into space, orbit the Earth, first man in space, and the U.S. is way behind now, and they need to catch up. So pull out all the stops, and no one's capable enough, but there's this one person in the, again, colored computing area who's this killer mathematician.
Yeah, I saw the preview.
And
I always love a story like that.
Gets brought up to the big leagues.
Is she so much better?
Yes. Well, she's not so much better because she's the only one who does this kind of math.
Yeah.
Not only is she a minority, but she's also a woman.
Right.
The only woman in this room of white males.
Right.
So it makes it even harder to think about. Again, it's amazing that this is based on a true story. Hopefully all of it is, or majority of it is somewhat true because it's inspiring. And then you get the Kevin Costner character, who I don't believe really even sees in necessarily race. He's just trying to he's the head of the NASA group. He just wants it done. He doesn't care how, he just wants the best people doing this work. So he's kind of that person of courage that shows up in the kind of person that you're rooting
Number
for.
2. Over all of these other movies.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a recency thing.
Yeah.
But it got me.
Worth seeing in theaters, or where would you see it?
I don't think you need to see it in theaters, but
yeah,
if it's streaming, definitely
pay the $4.99 for it. Or
yeah,
I'd
pay rental money for it. So I really enjoyed it. There's a very poignant scene, which this is what concerns me. I think we all go back into when we see movies like this as what's the opposite of majority, I guess. I don't know. Like as a white person, you look back at what happened in recent history, and you think about what would I have done? Would I have been? Would I have been? Hopefully, certainly wouldn't have been a racist. Let's hope, outright. But there's a scene in this movie that really stood out to me between Kirsten Dunst and Octavia Spencer, where Kirsten Dunst says, "Listen, I hope you know, like I have nothing against your people, like nothing at all. Like I'm not out to get you guys or anything. Like I'm totally okay with you, you guys." And Octavia Spencer replies, "Yeah, I'm sure in your mind you think that. Like, I'm sure you've convinced yourself that that is the case. And that is what I fear for myself, is if you took me back to the 60s or whatever, that I would have been too afraid to do the right thing. That's my concern. Not that I would have been, a hardcore, racist. I'm afraid that I wouldn't have stood up to the group that was kind of the, not, and that's even in today's world.
I think you can translate that into anything. It's hard to be the person that stands up and says,
it's the loudest voice that wins, even if the loudest voice isn't the majority. And I have concerns for myself sometimes of like, would I be brave enough? Would I be courageous enough to say, no, that's wrong. What you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I think you struggle with that even now with even social media stuff. We've even had the conversations of, well, I don't really want to like or share or, do things that are going to cause a polarizing topic. Well, if you're not willing to share your opinion about things,
well,
then
can I be honest?
it's hard
the reason
to
why I don't do political posts is because I don't want to be painted into a like a stereotype of,
sure,
you know me because you know what my posts are about. Like, then now you know who, like, everything about me.
Definitely, but I think that's probably in line with what you were just talking about, where where you do have to take a stand on certain things. You do have to voice your opinion, and I think that's hard to do.
But hopefully you've seen in actual reality terms too of in when there's social injustice happening, where I step in and where you are the quiet person. And
no, I'm just saying in general. I think it is uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
I'm
like, no, that's wrong, sir. And do you remember in New York, just even recently, when this guy was badgering someone who was working there, and I said, hey, man, like, lay off.
Oh yeah, no,
and you were like, I don't know this guy.
No, I'm not saying that I'm the person that jumps in. Right. I'm totally a non-aggressive person. I totally get it. I'm just saying, I think it's harder than you think. You look back at these movies and you think, how could you not have stood up against these things?
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's easy now to be like, oh yeah, I would have been.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that when you did that. You're like, hey man, why don't you leave her alone?
Well, and I've done. I'm confrontational, so it's not that if I like to think that I would have stood up for any type of injustice.
Yeah.
But I think it's harder when it's kind of the understanding that this is okay.
Yeah.
Would I have torn down signs or allowed someone to take
I tore down a sign once. And then you were like, that was illegal, Carrie.
Oh, you're talking about political signs.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't take it, and I just took it down. It was too close to our house.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so good discussion.
I did it, and then I ran. I ran away because someone was like, "Well, you can't do that."
What's your number
one?
I hope it's as good. The fact that if you don't have this movie, then you're out.
All right.
What do you have? Number one.
So number one is the 1999 flick, The Green Mile.
No, don't have it.
You don't?
No.
Oh, a bit of a miss on your end.
Directed by racial unity.
Yeah, okay. Directed by Frank Darabont. Written by Stephen King. Stars Tom Hanks, Michael Clark Duncan, who I knew had passed away. I guess I researched a little on how he passed away in 2012 from a heart attack. He was only 54. Yeah. Bonnie Hunt, Sam Rockwell, and Doug Hutchinson. It's set during the 1930s, and it takes place in a state penitentiary on, I guess, essentially a death row. It tells a story of John Coffey, a man who's been convicted of the murder of 2 children. And it's the story that unfolds as the relationship between him and some of the people that are on death row and the guards that are working in the penitentiary. And it's mainly the story also that unfolds between this John Coffey character and Tom Hanks and a couple of the other guards, and the mysterious gift that you find out that he has. And I saw it in theaters. To me, I mean, this was I was devastated by this movie. I mean, I still remember seeing it and just sobbing and crying, and it was really difficult for me to watch because John Coffey's character was one that you couldn't help but love. You're immediately drawn to this 8-foot tall guy. I mean, he's 8 feet tall. I mean, he's this big, burly man.
Not literally 8 feet tall.
No, he's literally 8 feet tall.
No, I don't think so.
That's a fact.
That's not a fact.
He was 8 feet tall.
Okay, sure.
So check me on that one. But anyway, he was really tall.
Just do like a hair throwback of confidence.
It's confidence. Yeah. And I'm really warm.
It's not 8 feet tall, Care.
He was, I think I read that he was
Michael
8 feet
Clark
tall.
Duncan is 8 feet tall. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's not 8 feet tall. It's like 6'5". I don't know.
I don't know. they portray him as being 8 feet tall in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he wasn't in real life. But anyway, we'll find out. And it's the story.
We'll find out if he was 8 feet tall when we get back.
What's important about this movie? So it helps you understand his life, and it's the relationship. I mean, there's a clear divide, like you said. There's a divide between the races, and it's what the relationship that comes together and develops between them. And it was a tough movie to watch, and I loved it. It's really one of my favorite movies ever, so it had to make the top of the list for
this. I didn't include this for the same, and I don't know even if I would have, but for the same reason is kind of jailed. Defending, much like To Kill a Mockingbird, I didn't include. I saw it on the list. It's on my worth mentionings, maybe.
If you haven't seen it, you should see it. We don't need to pick it apart, but it's an awesome movie. What's your number one?
Number one.
I know what it is.
Okay, what is it?
Does it have a letter in it?
It has letters in it, yeah.
Is there the letter X in it?
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't include movies like that either.
Oh, okay.
Are you asking about Malcolm X?
Yeah.
No, I didn't include movies about civil rights movement.
Got it.
Specifically where
I'm curious
it was
what it is now.
No,
so what is it?
It's Glory. Glory.
I've never seen Glory.
You have to see Glory. It's so disappointing you haven't seen Glory.
Sorry.
You will agree that it's the best once you see it. 1989's Glory, folks. And I saw this originally in middle school and then subsequent times afterwards and cry multiple times over every time I see it. 2 hours, 2 minutes. IMDb gives it a 7.9. Rotten Tomatoes, 93%. Directed by Ed Zwick. Legends of the Fall, Courage Under Fire, Last Samurai, Love and Other Drugs. It stars Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Cary Elwes, Morgan Freeman, and Andre Braugher. True story of Robert Gould Shaw leads the U.S. Civil War's first all-black volunteer company, fighting prejudices of both his own Union Army and the Confederates. So we have just split in the United States, and now there's a Confederacy in the Union fighting in the Civil War. Mm-hmm. And so obviously very tense racial times,
right?
Just to start with. And then now there is the first all-black Union Army led by a white, led by a white, I don't know if he's a colonel or what position he has. And he's it's his first time, Matthew Broderick's character, first time being given a position of power to lead a platoon. And then he's given an all-black platoon. So not super excited about that, even though it's part of the North and you're supposed to kind of be more accommodating towards. It's still too new, still to, hey, we're all great now, right?
Right.
Yeah, equality, sure. But it's just dealing with that gaining understanding of other people's plights and being forced to work together. Neither side wants to, but you're forced to work together. You learn about one another, and through that learning, you're united and you're stronger than you were before against a common enemy. And that's also kind of what's been key in all of the movie themes that I've seen is it requires a common struggle or a common enemy that's greater than the enemy that amongst yourselves.
No, I know what you mean.
Which I was talking with Lo Kung, who I saw this movie with, best friend of mine, one of my best friends in Colorado, is that's kind of not cool too. In Hidden Figures, it's the same thing too. Is the police officer pulls over the women and he's very racist.
Yeah.
And he's about to give him a hard time, and they tell him that, we got to get to work because we're trying to stop the Russians. And he's like, oh, the Russians. Oh yeah, I hate those commies.
And that's okay.
And it's like, oh yeah, and then they jump on it. They're like, yeah, those. Whew, yeah. So it's funny. So now it's like, well,
you're like, are you displacing hate?
Right, you're just displacing hate. It's like, well, I hate the Russians more than I hate African Americans. So yeah, that's cool.
There's like tiers of hate.
Need a ride? Like,
right.
It's just funny. So it's the same kind of thing with Glory.
That's interesting.
We just move hate somewhere else, and
we all want to dislike something, so we just move it around.
What is that?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
I think it's human nature.
You just look for differences, and you look for ways to.
You want to have
yourself.
an enemy, because I sometimes think people unite over having enemies. I think people do it it's human nature to even do it at work. It's, we don't like that head boss person. Let's all rally together and we can all have something to talk about and conspire and whatever. And I think it's human nature.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's not a good not a good natured.
It is a fantastic movie.
I'll watch it.
It's
can
worth
find it.
seeing.
Okay.
No, you can. I'm sure you can find it. It won 3 Oscars,
right.
sound, cinematography, and I think it was Denzel Washington's first Oscar, best supporting actor. And his performance in it is just extraordinary. Just extraordinary. And there's a lot of different layers of performance. So Morgan Freeman's in this as well too. And each character's story and their history and their background is very interesting to follow and to understand. Very complex situation. So Matthew Broderick grew up with an African-American friend who joins his platoon, and he's more of an aristocratic African-American, but then quickly is disliked then by the other African-American soldiers in the platoon for being kind of more wealthier and more well-off and everything. And he's just trying to fit in too.
Sure.
So there's like so many different stories. And then they have to go to battle.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
cool.
It's good movie watching.
Good picks.
I had a ton of honorable mentions. I won't go through them all. I did have some with different races as well too. The House of Sand and Fog I had actually on here. Bruce Lee's story was very interesting. McFarland USA, Lean on Me. I had a bunch of other ones. We just saw Selma. I thought Selma gets a lot of love. I obviously love the story of Martin Luther King, but I didn't particularly like that movie very much. For just the direction a little bit and the acting, it just didn't suit me very well. The acting was great. David Oyelowo as Martin Luther King was amazing, but other than that, it's like it's all right. In regards to our audience, every episode we select one member of our audience who share their top movie pick. Based on those submissions, here are our audience's top movies about racial unity. And we had a lot of suggestions. We ended up with ties for 3 through 5. Those being Mississippi Burning, Gran Torino, American History X, Green Mile, Selma, Lean on Me, and The Color of Friendship, which sounds
never heard
like
of that
by
one.
Disney.
Okay.
Sarah Farina wrote that one in. I wonder.
I'll have to look in.
Yeah, I might have to look at it. But tied for first were Remember the Titans, The Help, and To Kill a Mockingbird.
There we go. 3 of mine. I feel good about it.
And our lucky winner, are you ready?
I am.
Was Constance Wozniak.
Oh, nice.
Remember the Titans was her pick, as well as Gran Torino, so she has some alignment there with you. Constance, shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com. That's contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free movie rental. If you want to win a free movie like Constance, be on the lookout for our top 5 movie posts on Facebook and Twitter to share your favorite movies. When we get back, our new partner and very own critic in residence, Tim Brayton, will be making his first appearance on the podcast.
Yay.
So looking forward to that. When we get back, talk to you guys later. And welcome back to Alternating, bringing into the studio Tim Brayton, our new critic in residence, but not a new critic for that. You've been a critic for some time.
Yeah, no, I've been blogging since 2005 at Antagony and Ecstasy, the now late lamented, but very I'm very proud of it. It's been a part of my life for 11 years and change, and been written a lot of reviews, but I'm very, very excited to be part of this new venture with you guys. So thank you for bringing me
I
along.
think we're very lucky to have you. I'm not sure what convinced you to do this. A little bit of background for Tim and I actually went to Northwestern together. That's where we know one another from, and just happens that you're now in the Madison area.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that I'm in the Madison area. I'm, as my readers know, and I'm sure your listeners will pick up on fairly quickly. I am currently a graduate student at UW-Madison. I spent 10 years about after undergrad, just sort of mulling around and not really figuring things out. I had the blog, which was great. The blog, unfortunately, was not a career. It was a very, very time-consuming hobby. So there just came a point where I was like, I like movies. I like writing about movies, and people seem to respond to it when I do write about movies. So maybe I should get a degree in movie writing about, and that's where I am now. So I'm currently in my second year of coursework at the University of Madison, despite being a spry 35 years young and therefore like 10 years older than everyone else in my program.
Well, you're adding quite a bit of class to our podcast.
I know.
I
feel a very, very hefty burden of stepping it up now.
Yeah, I don't know
So
that
I started
we're
Googling.
capable.
I've started Googling movie terms.
All right.
And I'm gonna start sprinkling them in. I'll see if you notice if I pan left.
Is this it? Are you doing it now?
And then looked to the right, so I feel like this is off to a bad start.
I'm just practicing right now, but I'm gonna sprinkle it in because I feel like your listenership is gonna. I don't know. I'm a little concerned.
Well, in reality, I'm insecure as well too because I know what Tim brings to the table, having spent time with him in school, and you guys have said this as well too. Is I think the reality is what people will enjoy about our episodes, hopefully, and our site is the authentic voices that each of us bring and the unique voices each of us bring to the table. So hopefully you will be able to find that out here too. Is Carrie with being the casual moviegoer, myself being the film school dropout, pretend know-it-all, and then Tim the actual movie know-it-all.
Such a not film school dropout that I've gone back to.
I've gone back to school.
So
yeah.
But no, I
What do you like to do?
I can only speak to myself as like when I think of my writing. I don't know what other people think of my writing. I try not to indulge too much in like I am smart and you should pay attention to what I'm saying because I am so very bright. Like I try to write at a casual level. I try to write the approach I take to writing. I've said this before, although never to an audience. If you got me in a bar and you got 2 drinks in me and you said, Tim, what do you think of the new Star Wars movie? Then I'll go off for like 15 minutes, slightly drunkenly, about the new Star Wars movie. And I like to think of my reviews as being that. Like they're sort of the written down version of what would happen if I just go off about a movie that I've got in my mind.
Yeah, they're super accessible.
Yeah.
I've been reading you which is why I'm half starstruck, which is strange to have you partner, all of us partnering together. But yeah, I'm just feel really lucky to have this going. I think everybody's going to get something out of this, and that's why I think what makes us unique and it's kind of the value added proposition to the whole thing is having all of these unique voices. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing podcasts. We're going to be doing movie reviews. I know Tim, you do blogs as well too.
Yeah, the movie reviews will be the focus of it, but there will still be stuff like my one of the things I do is every month I do a monthly preview of the movies that are coming up, so that's still going to happen on the alternate ending blog, and other fun things sprinkled throughout. We'll see as the mood strikes any one of us what we decide we want to blog about.
So you'll have to check back to the site pretty regularly. I know for those familiar with the old alternate ending pod.com site, now the new alternateending.com site. Yeah, we didn't have stuff updated pretty regularly here. It's going to be, you're going to want to check back fairly often.
We're going to try daily. We're going to see if we can, and not obviously daily podcasts because we are not insane machines.
I'm a little bit busy.
But we're certainly going to at least a new written thing every day for a while.
Because Tim is coming with what, like 4,300 previous reviews. There's a lot of content. So I don't know how you do that.
So new readers who are current podcast listeners, definitely be sure to dive into our archive, which is right there for you. It's at this point, as of the Monday that we're going live, the archive is still a little bit not all there. It's a little bit rocky. There's some mislabeled titles, but we're going to get it.
Am I wrong to throw out the comparison? As we were sitting out there, Tim had mentioned that we're feverishly trying to get the kind of all the little things finished up for the Monday launch. I felt a little bit like, not that I was Mark Zuckerberg, but that Mark Zuckerberg having all of his friends over, kind of starting up Facebook. Like I feel like that's what was going on.
I definitely
with us.
get that.
I feel like we're at that level. Is that not what you guys are?
I don't know. No, we're not.
No. You mentioned podcasts as well too. So a lot of folks have been asking about what's the new formatting of the podcast going to be for? Will Tim be on? Tim will definitely be part of the podcast. The format that we kind of have in our head at the moment is we are going to be having weekly episodes, which is going to be an undertaking.
You just keep sucking me into more. This is what you do. You reel me in. You're like, this will just be every once in a while, Carrie. This isn't a huge time commitment, like once a month ish. And now, then you're like, maybe just twice a month. And here we are now, with a weekly.
It's going to be weekly. It's what we're gonna go for it. We're gonna try to target it, and realizing that Tim is a PhD student, not taking up too much of his time because he's also focusing on the actual written reviews. Tim will be on every other episode, but we'll have a presence on each episode. So what we're thinking is top 5 episode. So we're gonna have a top 5 episode. We're still gonna talk about the movies we saw since the last episode, and we're gonna have some sort of top 5 to kind of wrap things up, and then. For the episodes that Tim will join us on formally in person, we will have a spoiler alert episode. Also talk about the movies we've seen since the last episode, but really focus in on one movie that will either be selected hopefully by one of our Patreon fans, or if not, then by Tim himself, where we just go in depth about one particular movie. We will tell you in advance that we will be seeing this movie. So hopefully you can join us possibly and see this movie, and then we can really dig in and see it from that critical point of view, things that we may have missed as a casual moviegoer or a film school dropout. And Tim, I know you've done that before for us too, when we used to do little movies over at your place, seeing older classics like the Third Man.
Limey.
The Limey.
I saw The Limey with Tim.
Yeah.
And
many years ago.
You pointing out things and you saying them made me appreciate a particular movie more, and really changed my mind about a movie that I may have seen and have to go back a second or a third time to it. And that's what I'm really excited about, is sharing with everyone are those things too.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to keep things interesting. We're gonna do a mix of classics and newer movies, potentially maybe movies that are actually still in theaters. Some foreign films every now and then. So we're gonna try to
That's gonna be your bag. That's gonna be
of the kinds of movies we're gonna be.
And most importantly, we're gonna try to keep it to an hour, which is another reason for the weekly shows. That'll help us to stay pace with the movie. The number of movies that we're watching every week, is to be able to talk about them every week will help us kind of keep it at bay to an hour, and then splitting up spoiler alerts and top 5s into separate episodes. I think that's going to work out well. So yeah, that's all I have. I want to again welcome Tim and welcome us to his large audience. So thank you as well.
And to all of my readers who are potentially hearing my voice for the very first time, I hope that I haven't completely ruined your impression that you were expecting some sort of Gregory Peck-esque baritone.
I think you have a very buttery voice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I think it's good.
Very much.
Thank you.
Well, in closing, I want to thank everybody. Definitely check us out on social media, Facebook page. Go out there and like it. We have a presence there, as well as thankfully Tim's taking over our Twitter presence, which we have no idea what we're doing, but we're starting to see more and more followers.
I had the very surreal experience this morning of congratulating myself for joining the alternate ending team.
Yep.
So it was pretty great.
That's good.
Yeah, liking yourself is an odd thing to trick, get the algorithm
Who
working
knows?
And all that. Be sure to check out our site, obviously up and running now, alternateending.com. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google or wherever you find podcasts. Also want to make mention now, sooner rather than later, we have an Oscar contest coming out right around the Oscar time with hundreds of dollars in prizes going out for filling out Oscar ballots. You don't have to be right to win, but that does help. There will be some prizes going out to those who make the best predictions of Oscars, but also to random winners as well too. Tune in for our next show, where we'll be talking about our top 5 first dates on Monday, January 30th. Catch you then.